Here's my favorite quote. It's in the Journal today. CEO Jack Dorsey explaining why Twitter did certain things. Decisions made under policies that are subsequently changed and published can now be appealed if the account at issue is a driver of that change. I wonder whether you have a similar policy in effect at Parler. Is that crystal clear? Clear as mud, isn't it, John?
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me on. I have no idea what that means, frankly, but that's pretty normal, it seems, over there. One of the things that their CFO mentioned on Friday was that they're trying to gain trust, but you don't really do that when you're a social media, which is supposed to be a town square, like what Parler is. That's what we are. We're a neutral town square. That's why people trust us so much. And you can see that, and you can see that with so much backpedaling that goes on over there all the time. It's not a really good way to earn trust with your user base.
Thinking of you trying to take advantage, trying to build out your, your footprint, could anything better have happened to you in the last? I mean, you must be thanking the New York Post for doing that laptop story.
Well, the New York Post getting kicked off of Twitter for quite some unreasonable amount of time did bring a lot of traffic to Parler. We've seen immense user growth this year, 4 million new users this year, which is great for a company that only had 500,000 users going into the year, less than that. So we're doing really, really well. And yes, every time Twitter or Facebook takes authoritarian steps to curate content and act as a publication, it drives more people to our platform, which is a town square. I don't know that I'm necessarily thankful, because I'm not really thankful of other people's kind of misfortune, because it is really unfortunate that their content was taken down off of Twitter this close to the election. But it did benefit us, yes, greatly.
Isn't it? Don't you really have to define what you are? I mean, if Twitter's a publisher, I mean, what's the problem? Why don't they just? I've been watching Twitter a long time. I see the news they collate. I see how they do everything. I understand who they are. I mean, the mainstream media, all the major newspapers, most of the major newspapers, most of the major networks, they're honest with who they are. Why we should not be surprised by this. If you know what you're getting, why does it matter for Twitter?
Well, I think they're nervous about this Section 230 provision and a lot of the pressure they're getting from politicians. Basically, the idea is they're supposed to be a neutral platform, and that allows them to not be liable for the content on their platform. However, as a publisher, if they were to be publicly defined as a publisher, which they are, there's no doubt about that based off their actions. If they come out publicly defined as one, that could be a huge legal problem for them, as they could lose their Section 230 provisions. Parler, on the other hand, we're not afraid, because we don't curate content. The people who use the platform do. They choose what they trust, what they don't trust. They follow and engage. We have what we call organic fact-checking, which is the old-fashioned idea of comments and people talking to each other. So it's just a basic concept of not being a publication. That probably makes them very nervous, because they are, and they're trying to hide from it.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.